Hey, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. As always, it is Nick here, back with your daily crypto news and analysis. And today we are going to be talking about 5 gaming projects within this space that, in my opinion, over the course of the next couple months is going to explode in value. And the reason for that is because, again, I do think that gaming, AI, tokenization, things like that within this space, and even SocialFi are going to see a large amount of money pouring into them. And I do think that it's going to help the ecosystems thrive, but also grow drastically in not only value, but also volume on the platforms. So with that in mind, let's dive on in and let's start off with a few things. So one, back in September, we seen this report come out. Blockchain-based video games have been a bust. Will that ever change? And I do want to note the fact that if we go back in time, 2021 was when we started to really kind of see blockchain-based games and the metaverse becoming a big spotlighted focus point. We've seen a lot of great projects skyrocket in value. We've seen a lot of projects that don't really have a lot of quality behind them still skyrocket in value. Decentraland, Mana was actually a big mover, going from just a couple cents to roughly $5 or so. And it just shows you how much hype and how much demand there is during the bull run for a lot of these projects that are based around the metaverse, gaming, things like that. And again, although video games around the space have been a bust, they haven't been really that successful. I do think that this is something that takes time, right? Like if you're building out a AAA game, that's not going to happen in months. It's going to happen in years. And I think that a lot of these major projects have had enough time to actually build out some quality games. And within that, we've also started to see a few reports coming out talking about how blockchain gaming could actually become a major catalyst for the next bull run. And I do actually agree with this because as we really kind of look at blockchain-based gaming back in 2022, it was sitting at about roughly $11.1 billion. It's projected to have a significant growth all the way to 2030 to about roughly $500 billion in value, which I can actually see this growing drastically over the course of the next just couple months and even possibly years down the road, a lot faster than what they are projecting here in terms of 2030. And the reason for that is because I do think that with AI and the convergence of AI with blockchain, I think that a lot of what we are seeing around blockchain-based gaming is going to improve and increase in time to market. Again, I could be wrong on that, but I still believe that the crypto gaming scene is not dead. Very similar to the NFT scene, right? Like a lot of people think that they're dead, and usually when we see that happen, it's usually right before we start to see the big moves happen yet again within a few of those major markets. The same goes for even altcoins, right? A lot of people think that altcoins are dead, and then all of a sudden, boom, they bounce back significantly. And I do think that the hype is going to return once we start to see the retail herd return yet again. Again, retail is just not here yet. They are starting to talk about crypto, so it does mean that we are limited on the time that we do have to accumulate a lot of these gems. Now, just like my top 10 AI coins video, I'm going to start at the higher end to the lower end, where the lower end is significantly higher in risk. But again, the reward is also higher. Now, if we scroll through the top gaming projects here and we go to just the top 24-hour gainers, we could see a lot of significant players here. Now, I will say a few projects that I personally like on this list, and they're more higher up on the market cap listing. I do like Axie Infinity, but again, the problem is that it's already at $1 billion in market cap. Again, Decentraland, it hasn't really seen major improvements, but I do still think that Decentraland might be a big mover in this next bull run. I'm not a huge fan of Gala. A lot of people have been asking me about Gala. I'm just not a huge fan of it, specifically around the tokenomics of it. But I will start with the first major project that I'm actually a big fan of. Now, the first project on the list is going to be IOV. This is Alluvium. Now, this is a project that a lot of people have been asking me about for a while. Full transparency, I'm not going off the supply that we see on CoinMarketCap. In fact, I'm actually going off of what we see over here, which is currently speaking roughly 7.9 million estimated total in terms of the token supply. Remember that this does not have a max supply tied into it, so please be aware of that. But I am going off the roughly, I'm just going to round it up to 8 million tokens in terms of the total supply. So as we really kind of look at this, when we look at the chart, it has already started to have a pretty big move in the market. We could wait for a pullback, or we could ride the trend and just ride the wave. But as we look at the market cap for this thing, it is $500 million in market cap, fully diluted, sitting at about roughly $900 and almost $4 million. Now, here's a catch. With Illuvium, this is a project that does have a lot of quality behind it. It's been one that has been on my watch list for a while, if I'm being honest with you guys. And it's simply because of the quality behind this thing. I mean, as we really kind of look at a lot of these projects, the one thing to really kind of note is quality. You need to make sure that you are looking into quality games, because if I'm just being honest with you all, the gaming projects within blockchain have been questionable over the last few years. A lot of them have been really just looking like cash grabs. And that's what you need to be aware of, right? And with Illuvium, this has been a project that has been collaborating with some esports teams and also expanding rapidly. And they've already had some significant partnerships forged already, which is very significant as well. And it's been a project that has been, in my opinion, a blue chip gaming project within this space, or at least it's building to be that. This is also one of the first claimed AAA games on Ethereum. So I do think that Illuvium is going to be a significant runner in this market. I still think that it could see significant highs. Again, is it going to go back to $1,750 to possibly $3,000? It is possible. We just need to be aware of the risk of holding it all the way up to some of those highs. And we have to also be aware of the supply difference from, back in 2021 to where it is now. Outside of that, the next coin on the list is Engine. So Engine is actually a very interesting project because it's not a full game or anything like that. It's actually an ecosystem. And the way that I look at this is it's almost interoperability of blockchain-based games. So it's an ecosystem of interconnected blockchain-based gaming products, allowing game developers to tokenize in-game items on Ethereum using the actual coin itself. Again, this one hasn't seen a significant run-up. So, if you think that Illuvium has pumped already and you're kind of missed out on a good entry, Engine might be a good one for you because it's sitting at about roughly 30 cents at the time that I'm recording this. Market cap sitting at about roughly almost $304 million. And again, the best part about this one is that the full supply is already out there. In my opinion, I think that the $4 target, or the $4.50 target that it hit back in November of 2021 at the all-time highs, I actually think that we could go higher than that. And it's simply because of what we have seen so far with ENJ. And outside of that, it's a good thing to note with Engine is the platform. When we actually look at the transactions per second, the transaction time, and the cost, and the mints per transaction as well, this could rival some of the other players within the space. And again, this being a platform to launch top-tier Web3 games by tapping into, again, like I said, interoperability within tokenization from the developer side of things, this could be the accelerator and also the incubator for a lot of Web3-based games. Again, I'm very excited for Engine. I have been really focused on this player as well. I think that this is one to definitely keep on the watch list if you don't want to buy it now. But I do think that this has a pretty good entry already within it. Again, that is my opinion, not financial advice. And we could actually see Fuel for Games and apps, and we could already see trusted by some of the larger players in the space, and even some of the largest players in this game actually as well, which is very exciting. And also, they do show you what the Engine coin is actually utilized for within this space. Specifically, it powers all the products and services on the platform, which I personally love to see from any coin that I'm investing into. I don't like investing into coins that don't power specific things, or it's just like a small piece of the actual product offering. This is powering the entire ecosystem, and we could actually see some of the major projects that are already on Engine. You could see the gaming projects, you could see the metaverse, you could even see virtual reality, collectibles, and a lot more, which is, again, very exciting for Engine. And this one, like I said, could go much higher than the previous all-time high. The supply for that all-time high with the market cap would be about roughly $4.5 billion in market cap. I could see this sitting at about roughly $5 to possibly even $10 billion in market cap, depending on how high and how much hype there is behind the gaming industry. But also, Magic. So this is one that I've been looking into as well. Again, this one hasn't ran too significantly. It hasn't really lost a lot of support either. But this one is interesting as well because just similar to Engine, this is a little bit different than just a gaming platform. This is a multi-chain currency platform connecting games, players, metaverses, and even communities together, all within, of course, the Web3 economy. This one is a little bit higher risk simply because of the market cap ratio. But again, when I looked into Magic a little bit more, I actually think that this is a pretty low risk project. And the reason why is because of the quality behind this. We're going to be talking about it. But the circulating supply, 70, almost 4%. That's the main thing that I'm really kind of looking for within a lot of these projects is just the overall supply ratio and what's out there. Market cap 200 and almost like roughly $13 million, fully diluted almost $300 million. So it's kind of on par with Engine's market cap. Now, let's look into this. So first off, the team is building, they are active, and they are also a major player in the space with over 174,000 followers. You can see some of the artwork here, very high quality. Again, this has been a team that is, again, really active over on social media. So again, that's another thing to look at is how active the teams are. Are they constantly giving us updates? And it seems as though they are. They actually just recently had a gameplay in AMA. I don't know if they show, so here's some of the, they're showing us the platform. I don't know if we can see any of the game. It's probably going to lag a little bit because X is a little bit weird with that. But if you guys do want to go check it out, you guys are more than welcome to. When we go over to treasure.lol, which is the website for them, they also have the app, which shows us all the games. These are all of the major games within the platform. Again, like I said, this is a project that, in my opinion, is pretty quality. It's crisp, it's professional looking. And you can see some of the feedback already from some of the players within the ecosystem. And we can actually see some of the roster of the partners and supporters that are looking into this project, tapped into this project, you name it. Again, this is one of those projects that I do think is pretty quality. For some of the gaming projects that we have seen around the space, I'm really looking at just the quality of them because we know, like I said, during 2021, a lot of these projects that were not quality still seen significant high valuations on them. And it's simply because of how much hype and substance there was behind them. Because again, remember, Decentraland was like one of the first ones out of the gate with the metaverse. Now, this one is definitely interesting as well. So this is PYR, Vulcan Forged. This one has already seen a pretty significant run up in the market. It has broken out of this accumulation range that it was in, and we are already at about roughly $7.30. But as you guys do see, the market cap here sitting at about roughly 200 million. The problem is fully diluted market cap, almost 360, roughly $5 million in market cap. So it's kind of on par with Magic. It's kind of on par with Engine as well. PYR is a little bit different as well. This is more so of a blockchain-based game studio and NFT marketplace. They're trying to create the Vulcanverse, which is a metaverse, if you guessed it. They're also heavily focused on GameFi, and they have become a pretty significant player in this market as well. I know that a lot of people have been talking about it in the Discord. I've been looking into it, and if we look into the actual platform, so here we have PYR, the backbone of the Vulcan Forged ecosystem. It is a primary token, enabling easy access to liquidity and facilitating the exchange of gaming assets. Again, number one thing to look at is how significant the token actually is to the platform. And PYR is pretty significant to the overall platform. When you go to the overall website, here is Vulcan Studios. Vulcan Studios is the overall studio behind a lot of these Web3 based games. We could see some of the Web3 based games that are here already. And all of these are either able to launch within the Vulcan launcher, or you could also download them on the App Store or even Google Play. And again, there's quite a bit of games here. Some of these are pretty quality. I looked into a few of them. Some of them are questionable. Like for example, this Vulcan Runner. It's kind of like Temple Run, if you will, if you guys do remember that. Some of them are questionable, but some of them still do look pretty quality. Again, it's more so looking into the quality of them. The website, though, is pretty straightforward. It's pretty quality. I can't argue with how it looks because, again, I've seen a lot of rough websites within the space. So, definitely focus on that as well. And again, the team has been pretty active over on socials. Just recently on the 2nd, they posted this, which gave us a little bit of an in-depth view on how they do their artwork. Pretty quality stuff. I mean, listen, if we really look into what's been happening around the space, around the gaming industry, a lot of it is just hyping, nothing. They think that they have substance, but they don't really have substance, and that's what they do to fool the investor. So usually the only person benefiting is those that are, manipulating the investors. So the investors lose out, and the ones that launched the project or launched the coin, well, guess what? They enrich themselves and they basically rug pull the token. So when we really look into this, we want to see the substance. We want to see the building happening. We want to see the artwork. And that's what I really am focused on with a lot of these teams. Last but not least, Ultra. So UOS. Now, this was a project that was around in 2021. And I remember this specifically because back in 2020 and 2021, this one had a lot of hype behind it. And even today, I still think that Ultra is a big player. The problem is the circulating supply with the total supply and the overall market cap. So market cap wise, 67 million, fully diluted, about roughly almost 200 million. The overall supply is sitting at about roughly 35.2% out there. So it's, again, pretty heavy on the amount of supply that's not out there. But as we look at the overall chart here, this one has not seen a significant run. The best way I can describe what Ultra is it's like a decentralized and upgraded version of Steam for anyone who does play PC games. But it's also revolutionizing and trying to crumble the current monopoly of the publishing companies. So they want to kind of take over and decentralize the publishing space within PC games, more so take on, Steam and other major publishing companies. But Ultra has been a significant player. They've also been active. I didn't open up the X platform, but if we go over to their profile, we could actually see how active they are. They just recently posted on December 1st. They have been retweeting stuff. They have been posting stuff and giving us some updates. So, that's something, like I said, I'm really looking into outside of that, Ultra Games. So this is kind of what the platform looks like. Again, very similar in a sense to Steam. If you have been, utilizing Steam, if you don't, it's okay. You don't need to. But this is kind of what it looks like, right? Like you have your library, you have the store where you could buy. And again, this is reinventing the wheel because it's allowing those publishers that are publishing games, developing games, whatever, to earn a lot more revenue. Because what happens with a lot of these platforms like Steam, they're taking a significant cut. So again, this is something to look into. Again, there is some great games already on the platform, which I'm very excited about. And I do think that this is one to look into because it's a little bit diverse, because I don't want to just, show you guys just gaming projects. I want to show you projects that are also revolutionizing the way gaming within the space and even the future of gaming will most likely look, which I'm very excited about this. And also remember that this one does have significant partners already lined up and significant players that are tapped in. So I'm very excited for the future of Ultra. Definitely look into this one and add it to your watch list. It is a little bit of a higher risk, if I'm being honest, but I do think that it has been around for a little bit of time. They have been pretty active. They've been very vocal about what they want to do, and I do think that it could be a significant player in the next bull run. So with that being said, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did, definitely leave a like, subscribe, turn notifications on because there's more free content. You guys are more than welcome to follow me on Twitter and join the free Discord in the description below. And with that being said, guys, this has been Nick. Peace out.